Once upon a time, in the vibrant village of Ibukodu, a child named Olukemi Olufunto Adegoke was born. From the moment she entered the world, everyone knew she was different. Clutched in her tiny fist was a golden leaf, brilliant and glowing. The elders whispered of an ancient prophecy: the one who carries the golden leaf will bridge distant lands, but will face a destiny wrapped in shadows and light. Olukemi's parents were proud yet fearful. They knew the world would test her, and so they taught her the strength of her roots, the wisdom of her ancestors, and the power of resilience. As she grew, Olukemi's curiosity blossomed, and so did her yearning for the lands beyond the village. One evening, as Olukemi sat by the fire listening to a tale of far-off lands, the leaf began to glow fiercely in her hand. The elders exchanged uneasy glances, for they knew the moment had come. With her family's blessings, Olukemi set out, the golden leaf guiding her path like a small, glowing star in her palm. She traveled far and finally arrived in Britain, a land shrouded in mist and full of whispers. However, this new land was not what Olukemi had expected. Instead of welcoming her, some of the people looked at her with suspicion. "Why does she carry that leaf?" they murmured. "Who is this stranger among us?" They urged her to forget her roots, to leave behind her stories, and to shed the leaf that marked her as different. But Olukemi, strong in spirit, refused. One day, a shadowy figure appeared before her. He was cloaked in mystery, his face hidden, but his voice was smooth as silk. "Olukemi," he said, "I can show you the way to acceptance here. Leave the leaf. Let me hold it, and you will be embraced by all. You will no longer face suspicion, no longer be an outsider." The offer was tempting, but Olukemi hesitated. Her mother's words echoed in her mind: "Never forget where you come from." "No," she said, clutching her leaf tightly. Anger flashed in the figure's eyes, and with a hiss, he vanished. Days turned to weeks, and Olukemi began to feel the weight of her decision. Some people shunned her, others mocked her golden leaf as foolish, a relic of a land that was not theirs. There were times she wondered if she should have taken the offer, but she remained firm, her heart full of both pride and doubt. Just when it seemed that her struggle would have no end, something unexpected happened. A wise woman in the village of Britain, one who saw beyond appearances, approached her. "Child, tell me about this leaf," she said. Olukemi's heart swelled as she told her story, and the wise woman listened with deep interest, her eyes kind and understanding. Afterward, she said to Olukemi, "Do not hide your light, for it is exactly what this land needs. And remember, you are never alone." Inspired by this, Olukemi found a new strength within her. She began to speak out, sharing the wisdom of her people, the strength of her ancestors, and her love for both lands. Some listened and found truth in her words, others resisted, but she pressed on, undeterred. Years passed, and Olukemi became a respected figure, though her journey was not without strife. One day, she was summoned to speak before the Great Council. As she stood there, holding her leaf, the shadowy figure from her youth returned, watching her from the edges of the crowd, still filled with bitterness that she had not taken his offer. "This is your last chance to renounce your leaf," he hissed in her mind. "Otherwise, you will always be divided, never fully embraced." A flicker of doubt crossed her mind, but as she looked at the crowd, she saw faces both new and familiar, people who had come to know her for who she truly was. Taking a deep breath, Olukemi raised her leaf high. "This leaf represents my journey, my people, my strength," she declared. "I am neither just from one land nor the other, I am of both." Silence filled the room, and then, one by one, people began to clap, a few at first, and then many, until the whole room was filled with applause. The shadowy figure, realizing his defeat, vanished in a burst of darkness, never to return. From that day forward, Olukemi Olufunto Adegoke was known as the Golden Leaf, the woman who had brought two worlds together. Her story spread across both lands, inspiring generations to embrace their own journeys, no matter how difficult. Her legacy became a symbol of unity, resilience, and the courage to hold on to one's roots even when faced with doubt and fear. In the end, Olukemi's leaf became a legend, a golden light for those who walked between worlds. She showed that true strength lies in embracing all parts of oneself, and in time, both lands celebrated her as a hero who belonged to them all. If you enjoyed this folktale, please like, subscribe, share, and turn on the notification bell as we will be bringing you more folktales on trending topics around the world.